When I was a little kid, I didn't take my parents' advice very well. The little things like exercise, you'll feel good, were just crazy remarks until I grew up and started experiencing all these truths for myself. It wasn't until my brothers graduated and my parents grew apart and friends turned their back all in my junior high years when I was hit with insane regret of taking such a perfect, worryless, full-loving childhood for granted. I lost interest in eating, socializing, and was far from loving myself. My sadness engulfed me and I fell for it, thinking it happened for a reason and I was to blame. All the unhealthy maneuvers I made and days I went through took a long time for me to realize how far away from myself I actually was. I wasn't happy, cheerful, outgoing, or as some would say, goofy. So I went to my doctor and she put me on antidepressants. The longer I was on it, the more crazy I sometimes felt. Ever since I started taking them, it feels like it's been an up and down roller coaster, growing further and further from my natural self every day. I wish I could tell my past self I didn't need that. I had so many more alternatives, and now it's like a 100-foot cliff jump to turn back. There's gotta be some other way, but more people are being prescribed, even my family. And to be honest, I haven't seen them getting much better either. How do antidepressants affect your daily life, like outside factors, substances, symptoms, etc.?
Sometimes they might make me feel a little nauseous or queasy.
Okay. If you were told that there are more natural ways to treat depression that work the exact same, would you choose a more natural way?
Absolutely, I would.
Antidepressants are an issue because they are just a prescription, not a cure. For many people, it becomes chronic and higher doses are prescribed. Inside her own antidepressants movement website, metro.co, Ellen Scott advises you to get to the root of the problem instead of hiding it, and I agree completely. Sometimes the root of sadness is surprisingly very small and can be naturally cured, which is why medications are so dangerous. Even people who don't really need it are being prescribed. The U.S. National Library of Medicine posted an article saying from 1991 to 2005, these prescriptions rose 380% and expenditures were at $1.99 billion. I don't understand why so many people would be so dependent all of a sudden. My dad would say, how would the cavemen handle depression before you had to take a pill to take the pain away? Ellen Scott wanted to know why so many people hated these antidepressants, even though they're the most popular drug now. She asked anonymous people, and what she got back were a lot of zombie feeling reports, feelings of worse suicide, and being informed it's all a trick of the mind. Most people believe that antidepressants really do help, and so-called balanced serotonin receptors. Mara Kelly from The Atlantic wrote about her troubles with sleep leading to disgust with life and turned to suicide. Her doctor gave her Celexa and she felt restored. She gives examples that better therapy is too expensive and the depressed can't work out because they don't have motivation, claiming that some people who truly have had bad depression are cured by antidepressants. This is true if the person stays on them for the rest of their life. So that's why she had depression, right? The problem was that she wasn't medicated. The depressed don't know what they want. Often, they can't take care of themselves. So these people receive aid from pills other than people. Are you happy right now?
Not really.
And how come?
Because there's a lot of things that I'd like to have different in my life.
How did you feel while on antidepressants?
A little numb.
Are you off of them?
I am.
Do you like this better?
Yes, much better.
Pills are never the answer. Whether it's depression or not, I'm standing up for the fact that people aren't being cured. Only aided and superiors do care mostly about money. I see and hear of many people out there who are truly lost because all they did once they had depression was take medication. The serotonin in their brain was indeed lost but replaced with artificial serotonin. I believe that this isn't right and that there should be more therapy for creating your own natural serotonin. To add something very important, too, doctors don't know enough about depression and they definitely don't specialize in the branch, so it'd be a good look towards a specialist. Like I said, prescriptions weren't a big thing until about the mid-90s. Symptoms were worse before the new category SSRIs were created to alleviate this. Though they give immediate symptoms such as jitteriness, dry mouth, diarrhea, and longer symptoms such as intense decreased sexual desire, fatigue, major irritability, anxiety, and more. Arthur Allen from WebMD wrote about this and wrote about all these symptoms, including a follow-up with facts about people not feeling the same on it. This puts you at risk of relapse, for which Wikipedia confirms all of this, as well as exposing the art of antidepressants and how the benefits do not continue when off the medication. This can't be how we're dealing with depression. So Bristol used to take antidepressants, but this is why she stopped.
When I was on them, it was like my mind was like foggy all the time, and it was and I would just start random fights with people for no reason. And it was almost like I was literally like crazy, like, but nobody else could see it but me. And then
I see the situation as obviously the government looking for a lot of ways to earn money, and since meds have been popular, that's been happening. Not to mention, Prozac has been made the most widespread prescriptive drug in the U.S. Usually they use Prozac because it's brand new and altered to create less problems, but it gets the most reports of feeling like a zombie, masking the normal up and downs of normal life. Peter Kramer from Psychology Today wrote an article about this and the controversies of these drugs. I like that he stressed thoroughness, and one remark caught me off guard. He said to limp along, just somewhat improved, is dangerous. He pushes towards psychotherapy to find the sources of depression with his patients, and good or bad, it's got a way with altering personality. This is exactly my aim. There are way too many remedies to cure depression without antidepressants, and that's what I'm trying to make a difference about. For example, the power of laughing is indescribable and can trigger endorphins almost immediately. This is the neurotransmitter that is the natural antidepressant for each and every person around you. I recently made a collage of all the benefits of coming from physical activity in my health class. I learned that releasing endorphins in any way energizes your spirits and promotes neural growth. It gives you an enormous sense of well-being, and I found a study showing that 3 sessions of thorough aerobic exercises were approximately as effective as treating depression with daily doses of Zoloft. Penny Spokes, writing for Gale Biography and Context, brought up the programs using no drugs that work to help individuals adopt certain behaviors and diets to restore harmony to brain chemistry. Restoring the balance, she says, will only ultimately cure depression.
It's saddening in the way that, like, you see someone you really love struggle through something that's, like, been caused by a pill.
It takes a long time to create a thorough, successful change in anything. It's easy to be impatient because depression can take a long, hard mental and physical toll on you. All I'm saying is that in the short run, such as getting done with playing with your dog, and in the long run, such as being artificial drug-free, you will thank yourself. When in doubt, take the natural route and love yourself for who you are, because really, you can make yourself happier than you think, and as long as you're on your own team. Take the antidepressant road with me and discover the further truths of the human mind and how it reacts with dealing with such a sadness.